Hi friends, welcome to Loved by Cacao. This is a home for all of us who love cacao, to share our stories, to elevate the voice of cacao through voices from all around the world. Here we will connect the threads of light that cacao is weaving between us, from heart to heart. Thank you for being here. You might like to make yourself a delicious cup of cacao to enjoy while you listen, to tune in with this sacred medicine. I am Pania, lover and facilitator of cacao, and I invite you to step in through the door to this cozy home. Come to sit on a cushion in this circle together, and may we allow ourselves to be here, to be loved by cacao. Hey my friends, welcome back to episode 6 now, and this one is called A Cacao Revolution of Pacific Connections, with the cacao ambassador, Oonagh, Grace and Agnes. I can't even quite believe that I got to have this conversation. It was so beautiful. These women absolutely blew me away. The love and the emotion in the room was so felt. I felt like I walked into a room with women who have the biggest hearts and who love and respect each other so much and who are really lifting each other up in the world. And I felt so welcomed as well, and they just gracefully and beautifully shared their stories with me, and I think they're all amazing. So the fact that I got to sit with them for an hour and hear their stories was really, really, really an honor, and also a testament to the way that cacao weaves her magic, because I thought that the opportunity to speak to cacao farmers would be a long way off, but it's something that I've wanted to do from the start. And the fact that it happened so quickly is just amazing, and it really shows me that cacao wants the farmers to be heard, and Oonagh knows this. Oonagh is the founder of Cacao Ambassador, and they are all doing so much work to elevate cacao farmers across the Pacific, and it's just incredibly humbling and beautiful to witness what they're doing. So I'm really, really grateful that they said yes to this, and at first when I reached out to Oonagh, I just thought it would be to have a conversation with her, but straight away she said, would you like to speak to my farmers? Of course I said yes. So in this unique episode we get to hear from all three of them. Oonagh shares some of her story with us and her incredible connection with cacao. And then we hear from beautiful Grace, who is farming cacao in her 70s and absolutely loves her trees, and gifted me with amazing cacao beans after this conversation, which she roasted herself, and they're so lovely. Thank you, Grace. And then we hear from Agnes, and her story was very, very touching. It's a real story of perseverance and holding the vision. She saw a vision for the cacao on her family's farm, and she takes us through a journey of reaching for that vision over several years. So tune in and receive all this wisdom and these stories. Just a couple of notes briefly. I didn't quite understand a couple of things Agnes said. I wasn't attuned to her accent. So early on she's speaking, when Agnes speaks around I think around 40 minutes she starts to speak. She speaks about wet beans versus dried beans. I thought at the time she was saying weighed beans, but I've since learned she was saying wet beans. So just in case you're wondering what she says there, because cacao beans are either purchased wet or dried. And then later on I accidentally thought that she said the word bikes, but she actually said bags. So at 47 minutes, when you hear me ask her if she said bikes, she was talking about exporting bags of cacao, 5 bags. And I would suggest, even if you can't catch every word, just tune in with the frequency and message behind what is being shared here, which are stories of sticking to the vision and having faith that it will come to fruition. And it's evidence that life brings us the people we need along the way. And then Agnes also drops some incredible heartfelt wisdom at the end, and a real beautiful gift for our hearts and our ears. So do stay tuned until the end. I know that sounds cliche, but seriously, what she drops is just gorgeous, and it brings me to tears every time I tune in and listen to the recording. And in the moment, it gave me full body chills. So I'm really, really, really honoured to bring you this conversation, and do check out the Cacao Ambassador online. They have a wonderful website, and they're offering all kinds of workshops and teachings and products, delicious cacao products, and I'll pop their details in the show notes. But yeah, have a look at their work, and I really, really hope that you enjoy this conversation. So here we go. Okay, I am here with Oonagh of Cacao Ambassador and two of the beautiful women from the Solomon Islands, Agnes and Grace, who are over here touring with Oonagh right now from their cacao farms, and we're going to share some beautiful stories. And so I'm very, very grateful that we had time to do this today, that you're all touring right now around Northland, and it just happened that we could meet up. And so thank you for saying yes to this podcast that you haven't even been able to hear yet. And Oonagh runs the beautiful Cacao Ambassador, which is doing so many amazing things in the world of cacao, and I'm pretty confident that we could talk for many hours about all the things that you're doing. So I don't think this will be the only time I'll have you on the podcast, hopefully, because there's, like, I could ask you so many questions, but for now we'll touch on what the Cacao Ambassador is and your story. But first, we're all holding some of these beautiful Solomon Island beans, and if you would like to share a cacao blessing or bring in Mama Cacao in your way, I'd be most grateful.
Yes, it's an honor to be here, and thank you for inviting us. And it's just, what I know is like divine timing for us, this to align so we could all be together. And if for anybody who's listening, is just to take a deep breath and just close your eyes and really feel the support. And in that, calling in and acknowledging the support of the ancient, powerful, magnificent plant of cacao to support us, to support what we share with everyone today. And just for as many people as possible to know of the power and support of cacao that's available in our lives. And for that to ripple out and be available, because we all need support. And cacao holds the frequency of unconditional love. We're sitting here holding the cacao beans, which is where it begins, which is where cacao begins as a drink and can be turned into chocolate. So just as we listen to all that's being shared, that we're in acknowledgement and openness to the support of cacao in our lives.
Thank you so much. Beautiful, beautiful words. Yeah. And the where it begins. And that's what I feel like is so powerful with Cacao Ambassador, is you're doing so much around connecting people with where it begins, where the cacao begins, and connecting so many people in so many ways. And I'd love to know a little bit first, perhaps, about what the main vision is, because as I said to you just before,
the vision for this podcast, Loved by Cacao, is to share the many voices around the world of cacao. And I read on your website that you have a similar vision for sharing the voices of all the different aspects. So if you wanted to speak to that and the greater vision of Cacao Ambassador.
Yeah, like you said, we could speak for hours. And I think I have to begin by sharing some of my journey with cacao for it to make sense.
I'd love to hear,
and so I was in the corporate world. I grew up in Ireland, and I was very burnt out and lost in that world. It had no soul for me, and so I went traveling, walked away from everything I knew. And I was doing, I moved to Australia and was doing a yoga teacher training, and I wanted to make gifts for people for Christmas because I didn't have a lot of money. And so I decided I'd make chocolates. And then something magical happened that I cannot describe, except that I just knew. I knew what to do. I knew chocolate and a different way to just loving eating it. And I followed that path for many years, as going deeper into it, starting a chocolate company, making chocolate, starting selling them at Byron Bay Farmers Market in Australia.
Cool.
And so I've continued to follow that journey as a boutique chocolate maker. But really, I just knew always this sacred spirit in the chocolate that I couldn't actually describe. And I thought everybody who worked with chocolate knew that, but I realize now that no, that was quite rare. And when I moved to New Zealand, we had a byline, and it was like New Zealand's most sacred chocolate, because I knew this intangible magic. And as part of that, for me, it was really important that I would go back to the source and find and be with where cacao grows.
Yes.
So my first visit to a cacao farm was in Fiji. That must be about 15 years ago. And so then my journey continued until after the Christchurch earthquakes. I was a single mom, working, holding a chocolate company and many other aspects, and I suffered PTSD. And for 2 years I was very lost, chronic depression, until one day, by I would say a miracle, I came across pure cacao. Not chocolate, but pure cacao. And I started taking it, and within 10 days there was a difference in my life.
Wow.
I started having courage to start saying yes to life again. I was in such a lost, dark place. And at that time, a friend of mine, Flores, invited me to her cacao farm in Samoa.
Oh, wow.
And so sitting with the cacao trees in Samoa, I started having visions of what was possible through cacao. Not chocolate, but cacao. And the trees, and people might think I'm crazy, but I don't care anymore. That was 7 years ago. It took me 7 years to have the courage to just speak this as something I deeply know.
Yes.
I could hear the trees, and I could hear the spirit of cacao saying, this is what I want. I want humanity to know of my medicine, not just as chocolate, but as the purity of what I can offer as support. I want the cacao farmers, and I'm emotional because we got two amazing cacao farmers in the room with us. I want them to be honored and elevated and seen and totally cared for in this, because in the West we do not have the right to have cacao and chocolate without the farmers having the same right.
Yes.
And so this is when I say the Cacao Ambassador, true voice for cacao, in terms of truly serving what cacao wants for humanity. And cacao also asked that the chocolate industry change. The dark shadows in the chocolate industry change.
Yes.
So for me, that's what the Cacao Ambassador is. It's following what I was given by the cacao trees as a mission. And it took me 7 years to have the courage to dare step into that and own it. And now, as we see the effects and the change, I cannot not but do that. So the Cacao Ambassador is about Pacific cacao farmers, and truly honoring them, elevating them to have their own cacao, know the power and the gift of what they have on their farms, and giving them the opportunity to have chocolate, cacao, whatever shape or form, first before it's sold overseas. And that they have a connection to the cacao, because there isn't. They were taught to grow it as a commodity, as cash.
Right.
And there is no connection. It's so shocking, the lack of connection. They will drink Milo as a treat, right? I'm looking at Grace and Agnes here. They'll drink Milo as a treat, and they do not know what grows on their trees is what goes into Milo. That's how big the disconnect is. So we're in a mission of, first of all, changing that. First and foremost, empowering the women to be their own voice, be their own leaders in their own country, and cacao a source of income and a source of inspiration for them. Bringing that into the West, so the cacao we serve and share is whole and real and in balance, and really elevating the medicine of cacao as a daily drink for everybody. It doesn't matter if you're spiritual or not, cacao is a powerful support. And then it's to honour the indigenous of every land. So then in New Zealand, we work with an amazing woman called Shalita Zaney, and we infuse Rongoa Maori into our cacao as well. So it has the sacred ancient medicines of this land included as well. So we want to go deep and rich and far with cacao and with chocolate. So we also have a weave couverture chocolate, which is now being made in Papua New Guinea, and is the most pure, ethical chocolate, I believe, on the planet.
Amazing.
So it's all of these levels.
Yeah.
A lot.
It's like you're going into all the levels that there are, and that's incredible, and it's very, very moving to see what you're doing. And to, I mean, I've followed you for a little while, but of course the last couple of days, knowing we'd meet up, I've been reading more about your work, and it's just amazing. And now hearing you speak about it, it's very touching, because this is really what needs to happen in the world of cacao. That's because there has been disconnect in all areas, and you're like bringing it all back together. It's really beautiful.
Yeah,
it's amazing work.
Yeah, and it's just following that and having the courage to follow that. And I believe women in business can do things very differently, because we naturally, and I'm talking, we have sort of feminine energy and masculine energy, and I have both. Like there's times when I have to show up and be on and practical and disciplined, but I think when we really follow our heart, we can actually really show up in business differently, and cacao can really show the way of how to really be in the world, in business, and in the West, full-hearted, open and vulnerable, and so connected to the source, whatever we're working with. And the West is devoid, I feel, of meaning and inspiration, and everybody loves chocolate. And I watch when people can hear the truth and the essence of cacao and the farmers, and people just come alive, because everybody knows something like that's in chocolate, right? Yeah. We're all chocolate lovers. Yeah. And it can help everybody find meaning in their own life. And having a cup of pure cacao every day just works miracles, in my experience, my direct experience.
I would agree.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I call it the cacao revolution.
Yes.
Of the heart, right?
Beautiful.
Because it's the most heartful, beautiful way we can find ourselves and serve. Yeah.
Well, you're touching on one of the questions that I like to ask, which is, do you think cacao can change the world?
I know it can. For me, and I say this many times, cacao is a game changer. And Cacao has told me that herself.
Right.
That she's here for that in these times right now. So her medicine was forgotten. Medicine of thousands of years was forgotten. She became known as chocolate. And now we're reactivating the purity of the medicine behind that. And when farmers like you will hear Grace and Agnes speak, and when they work with their trees and they are really one with their trees, the medicine the cacao trees produce is beyond science, beyond when people talk about varieties, beyond the limitations of the Western mind.
Yeah, amazing.
And we see that. We see the beans change colour in the pods, and like pure white beans, which are the rarest, and they're not meant to be in the Solomon Islands, and we watch them appear in the pods. Yeah, we watch it
because you're communicating with the cacao. Yeah. I read that on your website too, and I thought, wow, how amazing.
And I, I'm mainstream as well, but I've just now I have the courage to own what I know, and so yes, to answer your question, cacao is a game changer. Yeah, supports humanity on a physical, mental, and whatever level, spiritual level people would like. So on a physical level, packed with theobromine, good for the heart, thins the blood, antioxidants, highest source, helps with anti-aging, any kind of illnesses. so many magnesium, iron, so many good things for the body. For the mind, it has micro amounts of chemicals that naturally gives us a sense of upliftment. Not too much, but just this natural sense of courage. I can do this. I feel positive. You know, we could call that mindfulness in the West. It genuinely helps with that, particularly when we have it. It's non-addictive. It's adaptogenic, so it helps. Your body doesn't get dependent on it. The body will adjust. It flushes out all the negative chemicals that creates depression in terms of thoughts. And then it's just got this, as we know with chocolate, je ne sais quoi that helps us just reach into whatever our spiritual language is. You know, it's like taking a moment, having a pause with cacao, having a pure cacao drink, and we feel different.
Yeah.
And those of us who do that know, and I just want as many people to have that experience as possible for the support, because we're in a very intense time. Things are changing so rapidly. There's so much pressure. There's so little time. And having a cacao every day in a moment and a pause, whether it's just in a flask driving to work, there are no rules. It's like people talk about ceremonial cacao, but for me, there are no rules with cacao. She wants people to have her as much as possible. And when I say she, I'm not just being about the feminine. In cacao, in the cacao bean, it's 50% white, the cacao butter, and it's 50% dark, the cacao powder. So for me, it's yin and yang. Cacao is in balance. And when I say she, S-H-E, he is in there as well. Right. It's just naturally I refer to as she.
Yeah, so do I.
But it's not discriminating in any way, because cacao is in balance. It honors both the masculine and feminine energies that we all have. And some days we need strength and courage and focus, and other days we need to be fluid and flow and open to change. And I think we need both in the world today. And cacao so supports that in the actual scientific medicine that's in there and the frequencies. And that's how the tree grows. Strong and powerful, and also so adaptive and changing and responsive to the environment and to the communication and every level.
Oh gosh, I just love speaking to you, because you have that real strong relationship with the trees, and you know that's something that we don't always get in a lot of places where people enjoy cacao and chocolate. They don't even know the trees, and I have been lucky enough to see them and spend time with them, but not on the same level as all of you. And so it's just beautiful to hear from that strong connection. I can really feel it. And I can feel the energy in these beans too. They feel wonderful. And I'm very curious to ask a little bit more, if it's okay, on, well, I wanted to ask what led you to working with the Pacific Island beans. It sounds like it was kind of one thing led to the next a little bit, but what made you decide to, because so many people are all about the South American beans, Central American, for example, or certain other ones, and maybe the Pacific Islands wasn't really being looked at, but you found an area that needed to be, and I'm curious, what made you decide to go in that direction?
Well, I mean, on many levels it was choiceless. So I spent time in Peru, and I spent time with cacao farmers in Peru, and it was a beautiful experience. But everything in me was connected to the Pacific, and for me, it's like, I don't know, you just know your destiny, right? If you do. And I could not look anywhere else but our brothers and sisters in the Pacific. The Pacific grows right beside New Zealand and Australia. And you know, when I first went to the farm in Fiji, it was a beautiful experience. And then I went to Samoa, and in Samoa, the farm, everybody in Samoa drinks cocoa. They call it Cocoa Samoa. So they're connected. It's very different in Samoa. And when I went to the Solomon Islands, literally my heart broke to see these beautiful cacao farmers working so hard, and then have no idea what the cacao was.
Wow.
And from that moment, that's when I left my chocolate company. Because I was like, then that's when I started the Cacao Ambassador, because like, I have to be their voice alongside cacaos. I have to change this. This is not right. And this is right on the doorstep. And like you said, so many people are looking for cacao overseas. If you look at the stats of what is shipped into New Zealand, coming from Africa, Ecuador, Peru, and here we have our brothers and sisters of the Pacific. We're one Pacific nation, not being seen and ignored, and most of their beans just being shipped to what we call the bulk market, into big factories in Malaysia.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2 years ago, the Cacao Ambassador was the first company ever to bring in Pacific cacao butter, cacao powder, cacao paste.
Wow. And the beans.
The beans were coming in a few different ways, but
Okay.
yeah, to really elevate the high quality beans.
Right.
The first to bring in the boutique beans, because there's two different levels. There's the bulk market, which is massive factories that make the cheapest of the cheap and try and pay the farmers as little as possible.
Yeah.
And then there's what we call the boutique market, which is about quality and paying and meeting that, so the farmers actually have a thriving livelihood.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just could not and will not do anything else but devote my life to the Pacific.
Wow, I love that so much.
Until we are elevated and thriving, and then we can spill over, and if we can help other countries, we will. But first, we have to lift. There's 2.5 million cacao farmers in the Pacific.
Wow.
And 99.9% of them do not know what they're growing or have never consumed their own cacao.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're really on mission. It's amazing. And wow. And did you say just 2 years ago that you started to bring in
4 years ago I brought in the paste from Cacao in the Solomon Islands.
Yeah, I was thinking it was longer than 2 years since I'd seen your paste.
Yeah. But then 2 years ago the butter and the powder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. And it's really spreading around New Zealand, and not only are you connecting people between like around the Pacific, but also within New Zealand. Like I love the way that the Cacao Ambassador is so collaborative. You collaborate with lots of other creators, and a lot of other people use the beans and make their own chocolate. And
yeah, because everything that I have learned over the last 20 years is available. It's not mine. And cacao is not about competition. It's not about exclusivity. It's not about one being more than the other. It's about collaboration and community. And so everything that is available is available.
Yeah.
Because it's about us all thriving together. And we can't do that if we're in competition or in separation.
Yeah.
We can only do that by being together. And we see the power of that. And I think women's very good at that.
Yes.
if we stay in our feminine energy, we naturally want to support each other. It's a very natural way.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And now you're on tour together, and
that's right.
It's amazing.
Special. This has been a dream of mine for many years.
To bring these beautiful women over. And how many are you?
There are 6 of us on tour. And when I first met Auntie Grace in 2019, I told her I would bring her to New Zealand.
Oh, and now you're here.
Here we are.
Yeah. Well, on that note, maybe we can move on to, unless there's anything else you'd like to share.
Yeah. I think there's one thing that I'd like to share, which is around pricing.
Okay.
Because I just put a reel out about that. So right now, cacao in the world, everybody's talking about it in terms of the price. But right now, cacao is at the highest price it's ever been, regardless of the quality. And what I'm seeing, and I'm celebrating it, is in terms of all cacao farmers are actually being paid a real price now, regardless of the quality. And in the West, we have to change our perception of what we should pay for chocolate.
Yes.
And for cacao.
Absolutely.
Because I really want to encourage everybody that what can happen, because this has been driven by the world stock market. There's some things happening in Africa, but it's not a huge effect. It's part of trading and futures and, prices going up, and they will come down. But if consumers know this, if consumers even every so often just go online and look up cocoa prices on the world stock market, if the price is starting to come down, they're asking the chocolate companies what are they doing about it. Because what we do not want to see is for the price to come back down and chocolate companies make even more profit, because they're not going to put the price down in the supermarket. You will never see that happen. If they get consumers used to paying maybe $8 for a bar of chocolate they used to pay $4 for, they won't drop the price down, but there'll be more profit made, but not by the farmers.
Wow.
So the pricing we're seeing now, I want to continue.
Yeah.
And we want the boutique farmers who create even more quality to be paid even more. But right now what's being paid, it seems like a lot for consumers, but it means the farmers are not living in poverty. It means the farmers actually have income, a real income from cacao, as they should.
Yes.
So we have to shift our mindset as to what chocolate costs. Like I just paid $7 for a coffee today, right?
Yeah.
So we have to be willing, we have to think about chocolate as like $10, $12 for mainstream chocolate, $18, $19 for a boutique craft bar, and less is more. and be in the enjoyment of it, knowing the farmers are actually thriving and not living in poverty.
Yes.
And I don't want to be negative. For me, it's not about being negative and pointing fingers. It's about being inspirational, that we can actually change the future through cacao if we are so conscious on all the levels. And so we don't need to fear running out of cacao, because a lot of people think that's the case, if we pay a true price. Because right now, for me, it's not about Africa in terms of the shortage. It's about cacao farmers. It's about cacao farmers, the older generations, obviously getting older, not able to harvest, and the younger generations not interested because they could not make any money and they do not want to live the lives they've seen their parents live. So we have to change it on the level of the farms for a healthy, thriving, inspiring farmers. They're so proud to be cacao farmers, and that does not happen around the world because it's just a cash crop they know nothing about. So we have the potential right now to make a long-term change, and I do not want to see that world stock market price crash and we're going back to the farmers having such a low price they don't even want to even harvest the pods, which is what we saw up to 8-9 months ago.
Okay, wow. So it's good that the price has gone up.
It is good. Now we have issues, like Grace and Agnes can tell you about challenges that they're having on their farms because of the price going up, but it has to happen, and it'll all balance out naturally in the countries once they get used to that level of income. But it is good, necessary.
Well, it's good to hear that from you, because I've seen people talking online saying, "Oh no, the price is going up," and kind of getting really worried about it. And but you're right, and we, you know, it's a place where we can really decide how we want the future of chocolate to look by what we spend and what we buy. And
That's right.
I'm really thankful to your passion for wanting to make such a change in this, because the history of chocolate is not great, so it does need to be changed.
It started with slaves in farms, so yes, it does need to be changed on every level, and that change comes through consumer awareness.
Yes,
because everybody who loves chocolate is a voice for the farmers, is a voice for the change, is willing, if we're willing to change the concept of what chocolate should cost, like a craft beer, right? So you just move less, but beautiful, enjoyable, And if we're talking about cocoa powder, anything products made out of the cacao bean, change the perception of what that should cost, and we can change across the world.
Beautiful.
I will hand over to Auntie Grace.
Ah, wonderful. Auntie Grace, as I've heard you being called. Well, Grace, thank you so much for being willing to speak, and I'd just love to hear anything about your farm and where you're from. And
I'm one of the farmers. Anyway, I'm Grace. I'm a farmer, and my farm is called the Amazing Grace Boutique Cocoa Tours.
Beautiful name.
In my farm, I have only a small farm, which is a boutique, organic, and I have only 1,200 cocoa trees.
Okay.
And I have 3 varieties of cocoa in my farm.
Beautiful.
I was encouraged by Oonagh also, 2019 when she came in, and I was encouraged to do the cocoa, and I was impressed with Oonagh because she's encouraged me to do that. I do in my farm. I do my own harvesting.
Do you have other people working with you on the farm?
At the moment, I have only 4 women doing all the work with me, and only 4 women doing all the work. We do all the cleaning the cocoa. We do the harvesting, pruning the cocoa, cracking the cocoa. Then we take the beans to where we do the fermenting. We do the fermenting ourselves too.
Beautiful.
Fermenting and sun dry all the beans.
Yes.
And then I do the value added chocolate. Like value added is I do everything manual. I do my roasting in open fire.
Oh wow.
I do the peeling, pounding the cocoa beans. I don't throw the husk. We use them for tea.
Okay.
And I do my own chocolate, hot chocolate drinks. And I have I have tours also. coming to my cocoa farm.
Beautiful.
But anyway, cocoa is just like your children.
Yes.
You know, whenever I go to my cocoa doing my pruning, I have to talk to them. Because they are listening just like your children when you talk to them. And whenever I go in there, I prune the cocoa and I say, sorry if I do something wrong to you. And then I love you people. So if I do something, just forgive me. And I love you. So they can always give me good fruits on my cocoa trees. So that's how I treat my small farm. And then I do the pounding and I package all my product.
The pounding was...
Pounding of the beans.
Oh.
You know, when I roast the beans,
Oh, yes.
I roast them in the open fire.
Yeah.
And then after roasting, we peel the beans. And I don't throw the husks.
Yeah.
I keep them for tea. Whenever I have the tours and, you know, people come in, so I have to introduce cocoa. And the tea is very good for people, you know, health,
Yeah, I like
with the beans.
husk
And it's a saying that you eat 8 beans every day, you won't go to the doctor. That's the
I haven't
saying.
heard that one before.
Cocoa is a very good, it's in medicine too for us. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's how I do with my farm. I also do the tours in my farm when the people come, and I have a lot of people coming to and see the cocoa bush. Most people, they make chocolates. I mean, but they don't even see the cocoa tree. So they come and see the cocoa tree, and that's what they say. Oh, that's how the cocoa looks, because they know they make chocolate out of cocoa, but don't even see the tree. So that's it how I do my cocoa.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. I have a page book there. It's called Amazing Grace. You can look at it and then you can contact us about it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And what are the 3 varieties that you
I only have the Amalando. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it.
That's okay.
Amalando and the Trinitario and the Creole. Creole.
Beautiful.
Those are the only 3 varieties I have in my cocoa farm. But I'm still planning to, you know, extend my farm if I have more workers to do the work for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I started the farm when I'm, I'm already aging. Then I start the farm. That's what I said. I should have started it when I'm still 50 or 40 years. But now I'm 70 already. So that's so
well,
that's
how I go keeping you young, maybe.
But it keeps me stronger.
Yeah.
And I love going to my cocoa every day.
Yeah.
Just go in and see my cocoa trees. I love my cocoa trees.
Oh, that's so good.
Talking to them and cleaning them. Yeah, and that's how I keep my cocoa trees. Just like my children.
Yeah.
Because I have already grown up children, grown up grandchildren, and I don't have any small ones. So those are my children. My cocoa trees are my children. So that's how I go with my cocoa. Yeah.
And is there anything that you would like for people to know about cacao? Like, do you feel like that there's any message the tree might like to share, or anything that you wish people knew about cacao?
I just want to say that people that cocoa is a good medicine for health. It's very good for health.
Yes.
Everything, like even people they say you can use leaves for tea also. So that's how the cocoa. So just keep the people to know that cocoa is very good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. I really love hearing from someone like on the ground.
Yeah, thank you.
Because like I said earlier, we don't all get to see the trees, So you're both bringing some special medicine here to bring the connection with the trees and with the earth. And
it's all from Oonagh. She's the one who introduced all these things from us for us, and we love them. We love Oonagh too, because she comes there, visit us, and 2019 she was working with us when she came in, and she's the one who showed us how to do the value added, things. Yeah, so.
And with by value added, you mean the chocolate?
We value added chocolate. Like,
you sell that locally?
Locally, yeah. That's what I was saying. I don't do chocolate like others do with machine, everything. I do mine manual.
Yes,
Like
manual,
everything
yeah.
manual. I roast
Amazing.
with open fire.
Yeah.
I do the peeling with, just hands
Oh.
and then pounding.
I bet it's delicious.
Yeah. So that's how we do the
Yeah.
manual way of doing the cocoa. Yeah. The chocolate.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story and coming and touring New Zealand, and I wish you a beautiful time here.
I think New Zealand is good. My first time to come to the New Zealand, and I feel it. I really love the country.
Good.
I feel at home when I arrive here. And she
Good.
always comes to
so
Solomon
glad.
and said, "You must come to New Zealand." And now I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you as well. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, so Agnes, hello.
Hello.
Thank you for being willing to speak today, and just like with Grace, I'd love to hear the story about your farm, and I'm also curious, did you know each other before coming to New Zealand? You live close by?
Yeah.
Or? Okay, yeah, good.
Yeah. My name is Agnes Pilapasa. I'm a cocoa farmer. We started in 2003 when I was 15 years old.
Oh, amazing.
Yes, so my dad started planted, and we continue with the farm, and we continued to sell we used to sell harvesting the beans and sell for the buyers.
Okay.
They buy white bean from us, and our buyer is Wings. That is our first buyer for white beans and even the dry beans. And in 2014, I was started my own business, doing a store, and also I pay white bean from other farmers, which my dad built a connection with them. So when I started to pay white bean from them, and then they sell us their white bean for us. But we have 46 hectares of cocoa.
Hectares.
6
hectares. Wow, that's quite a lot.
Quite a lot. We have 24 blocks.
Okay.
And we work with 164 farmers also.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So, like my dad built the foundation with the farmers. The mom and dad build a relationship. They have 60 farmers. And when I'm coming in, I bring a lot of farmers because I have to go down to the farm and then talk to them and try my best to pay for the white beans. We started that in 2014, and with the help of one of the institution that they did for the women, local businesses, that you have to take a loan, small loan, and then you start your own business. But since that time, the past years, 2009, I was completing my study with the SHISBIC on how to do your own business, how to manage people, how you can talk to people when you are on a different age group and then they are on a different age group. So I need to understand them before they come to work with us, because mom and dad already have 8 people to work for them.
Okay.
So when I coming in 2014, and then I started to build a business like from mom and dad, but it's really hard for me. It's like mom and dad have the different different interest in the business, how they do the business on cocoa, and for me it's really different. I take the business as I take the cocoa as a business, but they use the cocoa for their income. So I continue to put that interest in, and then after one of the award that I bring in for the local businesswoman in 2015. I won the first award. It's like building the relationship in me with the cocoa. Like one day, these three were gonna bring me somewhere. So it's like I'm building that relationship with the cocoa trees, even though my mom and dad don't really want what I'm doing, because they are not interested in doing businesses like doing the cocoa as a business. But for me, it's like when I finished that course in 2009, it's like, oh, I have to do something else, turning that cocoa farm into like something. So I continue with that after I get the award. And then in 2016, I bring some of my cocoa beans for the chocolate festival in Solomon. And I pounded some of my beans, and I bring some of the beans for the judges. Yes. And they bring my beans and they make the chocolate and they give it back to us and say, Agnes, you taste your own bean. So when we taste that, because we don't eat cocoa as we don't eat chocolate. If we want chocolate, this we wait for someone come to oversee and go back, and then they give us the chocolate. But when that year, they take our beans and put them as chocolate, and then when they make the chocolate, they give us, and then we taste our own beans out from our own farm.
And that was the first time?
It was the first time for us. Like, wow, I'm crying.
Oh.
Yeah. It's really break my heart, because I saw different people using our beans, turn it into chocolate, and it's really bring my mind, wow, one day I'm gonna build my own factory.
Yeah, wow.
So I love this cocoa. So I continue put my relationship into the cocoa, and I continue to love that. But I don't know how to really use cocoa as using for tea or anything else. No, I don't know that. So I went out to Vanuatu, and I saw people doing their own chocolate. I was, wow, one day I'm gonna build my own chocolate factory, or and then that was in 2017. And then when I go back, I won another award for my cocoa varieties that we bring them for the chocolate a week also in 2017. So I get another award for the chocolate, local chocolate.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, I'm gonna make my own chocolate one day. 2018, I went to Barbados in South America because of the cocoa.
Yeah.
I went there, and then when they saw me, they said to me, when the woman come and welcome me, she said to me, oh, welcome home, my poor farmer. So I was really ashamed, because all of them, they know how to use the cocoa, but for me it's a new thing for us, like in Solomon Island. So I was crying.
Wow.
It's like
were you learning from them? She was teaching you, as you
no,
said they
that
knew.
is when they welcomed me at Barbados.
Yeah.
And I stayed there, and I try my best to go out and saw what they're doing with the cocoa beans.
Okay.
And I found one friend, and she said to me, hi Agnes, I'm from Geneva, and we use your cocoa also. And can we go to my room? And I went there. She saw me what she doing with the cocoa. She using my bean with the rice, like boiling the cassava rice with my bean.
Wow.
And she said, taste it, it's a bean. So we managed to like building the relationship between me and that lady. And then we go to the festival that year, and that same month we go in there. And then when they ask us to show what we are doing on the cocoa nibs, where I bring from Solomon Island to Barbados, after we finish it, we get the award for that.
Oh.
Wow, I really thank God for that.
That's where I saw that one day I'm gonna build my own factory. That was in 2018. It was a really challenge for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big challenge for me. Doing things by my own and trying my best to solve the problem back at my country and my community, like to change people or to change the country. Eating cocoa beans or drinking cocoa beans, it's like new thing for us in Solomon Island. But when I travel with cocoa since that years, it's really bring me that one day I'm gonna meet someone who's gonna change everything different from me, and then one day I'm gonna build my own factory in Solomon Island. Yeah. So that was in 2018. 2019, I met someone, cocoa ambassador with Sister Flores. I went to Samoa also, and when we come back, and I met those two ladies, they're like sister to me. Yeah. When I don't know what to do with the cocoa, they teach me.
Wow.
And I bring them home to my farm. First day I bringing Oonagh down to my farm. I bringing them, and then we put a table inside the farm, try to teach other farmers also with my farmers. Oonagh and Flores told me to pound the cocoa, and then I started to pound it, and then started to mix the cocoa with pawpaw, coconut, and everybody enjoying it. And not only for us in Solomon Island, that with all some buyers from overseas also coming that time. And then when we round in the farm, it's because a big farm, we just go on to one of my favorite blocks. We're doing grafting, and we mix the Trintario. We plant the Amelnando, and then we graft them with Trintario. Yeah. So it's like changing the whole tree and become one tree. Yeah.
Wow.
So the beans, the fruits like red. Every cocoa is red cocoa. That is where Oonagh started build a relationship with Oonagh and started to talk to each other, how we can do it, how we can teach our farmers, because we have a lot of farmers. They have their own plantation, but they don't know how to drink the cocoa nibs or use the cocoa nibs to bake. No, they don't know how to use cocoa. And even we just sell the cocoa for buyers. And that year, we sent our beans for Malaysia. My started exported was in 2016 when I first the second award for Solomon Island. And then when they asked me about what can we give it, I said to the government, just allow me to tell you all my story, and then you guys take my the award and pay for my license. So they did. So my start export is 5 bikes only.
5 bikes.
5 bikes.
Okay.
And then I started. And when Oonagh come and introduced me about how to use the cocoa, my mom and dad is to export. I helping them, but for my interest is value adding.
Yes.
Yeah. And I started to talk to the people outside where come with Oonagh and Flores, and they get my beans. And I start to export to Japan.
Oh, wow.
And I started to export to Japan is 12 metric tonnage from my farm. I don't get from the other farmers because I have to follow their rule from Japan. It's really hard.
Okay.
Yeah, that challenge for me in the market in Japan is it's like I have to follow their rules.
Yes.
Yeah, so I export there.
Okay.
Yeah, so I sent 12 metric tonnage for.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, and I continue that year, continue to doing the export, and I continue to build my chocolate local chocolate. Try to go and sell it to the schools, and that. But the children don't want it because it's really it's not really soft like real chocolate.
Right.
So sometimes it's good. Sometimes we get money. Sometimes we just give them free because we want them to take some of our samples and they try it out. And then in 2020, we have our first machine from the Strong in Business with the help of Strong in Business and the Cocoa Ambassador.
Yeah.
And we get all our machine and we started to produce our own chocolate.
What kind of machine? Like one for doing the grinding of the beans? Or?
Yeah, grinding the beans. And we have the roasted machine.
Okay.
And we're doing our own selection of the beans before we grind it. Yeah. So we have the small foldable machine for the chocolate, not the big ones. Like we have 3 of them, and then one is for the cocoa powder. Small ones, but it's really good for us in the village.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're doing untapped chocolate. Untapped one. So like when we use that machine last year, when we just complete the chocolate house, and then when Oonagh comes, she saw that we completed the building and we started to make our own chocolate in October last year.
Wow.
Yeah. So like it's really a big challenge for me going through the processing, but we managed to complete that house. But we will continue and look forward like to build a relationship with the people. They have their own chocolate factory, or if they want to buy from us. Yeah, we happy to like building relationship together, selling our beans or the chocolate. Yeah.
So if I understand correctly, that now you have your chocolate factory that you were dreaming about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, it sounds
it's really a challenge for us at the moment when the price is going higher in Solomon Islands. For us in the farm, we saw the different things happening. Is when the price is going higher, stealing is going higher too. Yeah, so if we don't have much people to work in the farm, then the half of the plantation people go to steal them. So what we're gonna do is, my plan now and forward is to have more workers in the plantation and also in the chocolate factory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that more people are earning and you can employ more people.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's really like changing the lifestyle in my community.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's really helping us. And I want to thank Oonagh for that. Because when she was there, like teaching me, and my farmers also come and then listen. And when Oonagh go back, Agnes, how can we work together? And I say, you're running away from me. You don't build a relationship with me, but I forgive you, people, because I know we can build that trust again.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is I'm go forward to the home, sleep with them, eat with them, and then we started to build again the relationship between me and the farmers. Yeah. So thank you, Oonagh, for coming back. Last year after Oonagh go back, we have like 100 youths coming together. And so what I'm doing, and I say, thank you, Auntie Aggie. We will happy to work together with you again.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's really like cocoa is really like magic to us.
Yes.
It's keeping people together. If we have the relationship inside the cocoa, it's like I don't know how to explain it. It's like when I saw Auntie Grace or Oonagh, it's like Grace is our mother, Oonagh is my sister. It's like a cocoa family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. For me, when I talked to Oonagh, I was crying because she came there, introduced the cocoa for us, doing our own chocolate, doing our own drink, and then it's built a relationship between us. And it's like when my mom and dad saw Oonagh, they said, "Oh, your sister is coming." Oh, yeah.
Wow.
It's
so beautiful.
yeah. It's like cocoa bringing us together.
Yes.
Cocoa building the relationship between us together.
Yes.
Build the trust between us. And we continue to move forward and change the country. Change the Solomon Island.
Yeah.
Change
good.
our community. Change the people mindset.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
And it's
sounds
like cocoa is big thing to me.
Oh.
I love this.
And you're doing so much for your community too.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And before I came, with the help of Strong in Business and Sister Oonagh, we built our new set. And my mom and dad say to me, "You go and you come back. We will help you to clean another space for your new guest house." So I'm really thankful. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gosh, what a powerful story. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm really, really grateful. And it's just so beautiful that you're here in New Zealand to share these stories and help us connect really where this beautiful, magical medicine comes from.
This is my first time in New Zealand.
Yes.
But when I'm here, I feel at home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
I feel at home.
I'm so glad to
Yeah.
hear that.
I have all my brothers and sisters here.
Yeah.
Dane. Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Oh,
I love New Zealand. Today, dreaming to come to New Zealand, and now it's happened.
now you're here.
For how many years? 8 years. And now I'm here. Thank God.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you a wonderful, wonderful tour, and I feel very, very honoured that I got to meet you and hear your stories just early on, and so thank you for being willing to share them. And
You're welcome.
is there anything else that you wanted to say about cacao for listeners to know, to understand about this beautiful plant?
Yeah. Cacao, I just want to say that cacao is bringing us together, changing the life of people, and even change our communities. And cocoa brings us together as one family. And when you eat the cocoa, it's like a magic, like Oonagh said. For the first time, I don't know how to use this, but today it brings a special thing in my life. So I'm really encouraging people here in New Zealand continue to love what we're doing together and build the trust between all of us and continue to work together to change our community and to change the whole world. It's really hard to change the whole world, but first we will start to build the trust between the families that we have with cocoa.
Yes. Yes. Wow. Oh my goodness. I'm very, very moved and touched, and this has been really, really, really special. Thank you so much, all of you. I'm really grateful, and hopefully this message will go far and wide. I'll do my best to share it so that your voices can be heard even more, and keep doing your amazing work.
And one of the things that we do, and I would.
Shall I give you the microphone again?
I'll pick up.
Oh yes, you can share
we'll,
mine.
We'll get close. So we do ecotourism, where we take people to the heart of the cacao farming communities of the Solomon Islands. And we don't stage that. We spend time with Agnes and Auntie Grace, but we also take people on these trips to brand new farming communities who are not new with cacao, but new to never having their own cacao. So we offer that invitation to actually come and close the gap in the most beautiful way. I just want to share that, because then to step onto Agnes's farm and Grace's farm and see how they love and care for their trees is life-changing.
Yes, I'm sure it is. Yeah.
And one of the most magical things is to see Agnes stand under her trees and sing.
Oh,
So
yes.
Agnes, would you close this with a song?
Oh, I would
do
be
that
so
to
honoured.
close
That would
that?
be amazing. What a perfect close. Thank
So
you.
just if to the listeners, just
Yeah.
close your eyes and just place yourself on Agnes's cacao farm with her trees, and we'll hear her voice.
Thank you. Alright, so I'm gonna sing the language one. I'm gonna sing this song but I'm gonna sing one of the songs that we sing together, because this song is like for me, like Misave. It's a Pidgin one. I like, we know that God is there. God is everything. When we go far, God bringing us together with this natural plant. I like building the relationship between us together.
Okay, that sounds amazing. Thank you.
Mi sabe, God am stand. Me feeling presence belong Him. Oh, me sabe, God am stand. Me feeling presence belong Him. And me walking me now, me belong Him. Sing me sabe, God am stand. Me feeling presence belong Him. And me walking me now, me belong Him. Hallelujah, God am stand. Hallelujah, hallelujah, and belong me. Hallelujah, me belong Him. Oh, me sabe, God am stand.
Whoa. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
Welcome.
Wow. I really hope that people take up the invitation to come and visit your farms and connect even more deeply and spend that time with you. Beautiful gifts. Wow, that's an amazing way to close out. And I really wish you all such a wonderful tour, and I hope that we get to meet again. And I'm sure that I'll have a million more questions for you at some point, Oonagh, so hopefully we can do this again sometime. And I will share your website on my show notes, but if there's any other way you'd like people to reach you or anything, I guess Instagram is the Cacao Ambassador.
Yeah, Instagram, and we don't stage anything. We just post raw, real, what is, and we will continue to do that. And yeah, follow us, be inspired.
Yes.
Jump on board. We have what we call the Cacao Embassy in Christchurch.
Oh yes. Yeah,
So come and
so
visit
cool.
us, and yeah, we hold workshops, and that's where is the home of the cacao, where we hold it for all of Aotearoa, and where we also craft the blends, the custom blends. But yeah, my heart is so full
Yay.
being here.
Amazing.
and
Incredible work.
yeah, let this ripple out wide and far, and let everybody know the love and inspiration. As Agnes said, cacao brings us all together and supports true change.
Thank you so much for all the work you're doing.
Thank you for your invitation to join in.
It's such an honour, honestly. Yeah. Okay. Well, that will end this. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
thank you for opening your heart here and listening today. Please subscribe to keep getting episodes in Apple, Spotify or YouTube. And please share this podcast with your cacao-loving friends. You can follow us on Instagram at lovedbycacao. Please take care of your heart and may you feel loved.